And, you know, every teacher does this, hopefully. At some point, you know. And welcome back to the Angry Teacher channel. This is Richard Williams, the Angry Teacher, and if it's your first time here, thanks for coming by. Hit the notification bell and the subscribe so that you can be updated on the next dope Angry Teacher video. We'd love to have you be a part of the family. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. You know I love y'all. Let's get into the video. In this video, I'm not going to give you a whole list of different programs that people use and people are schlepping on the education community to buy their product so you can learn. I'm just going to do some stuff, tell you some stuff that I do and other teachers have done that can kind of help encourage kids to become better readers or to read or to want to be a part of the reading community that you have in your classroom. So let's get into the video. Hope you enjoy. If there's anything that you need to let me know about, maybe I missed something, maybe I did too much, maybe you want to know more about something, hit me up in the comments below and we'll have a conversation. Let's get into the video. Number one, interactive reading versus, or interpersonal reading if you will, versus isolated practice. Now, when kids read, as I've told you in other videos, I have them annotate. You have to have active reading skills and so that you will be able to revisit something that you're running into later on. You'll be able to revisit, you know, the beginning of a situation, or you'll be able to understand once you're actively participating. It goes here and it gets your brain working, right? So that's important to have that interactivity. By the same token, it's also important to have that interpersonal communication, interpersonal reading. So when we read in my class, you know, we either read in groups or we read as a class. And so everyone gets to hear everybody else's intonation, pronunciation. And then we stop for a minute and then we kind of talk about it. What's going on right here? Where are we? What's the character doing? Why did the character do it? Should we be concerned about this symbol that we're seeing that's coming in, or this motif that keeps coming up? What's the point here? So we have all that interpersonal and interactivity once we read, but there's also an isolated reading that I have them, they have to read by themselves. Like especially with poetry, they have a moment where they're just doing it on their own. Before I even start discussing anything, I need to know what you know on your own. When you're reading, everything is not going to be a we do scenario. When you take standardized exams, when you're reading, studying at home, when you're reading for pleasure, you're reading by yourself. So there's going to be some point where you're going to have to work by yourself in isolation and you're going to figure stuff out, and then we come back as a community and then we figure out what's going on. Were your assumptions correct? Are you understanding what you're reading? And so we'll just have that conversation. So the first one is isolated reading versus interactive skills. Interactive skills. This goes back to having kids do some of the heavy lifting sometimes. Not just the teacher, okay, here's what we're gonna do, I'm gonna explain this to you again. No, sometimes after a while, this is December, so some of the activities at this point, some of the readings, right now, you're doing all the heavy lifting. Here's what you need to do. I'm right here if you need me, but I need to know, do you understand the instruction? If you have a question, you can come to me, but we've gone over several types of these instructions before. We've worked as groups. Now I want to know what you know by yourself, because away from the standardized test coming up, I want to know if the comprehension is working. You've heard, I've explained it, I've had your classmates explain it, and so you've heard from other people over and over. Now I want to know what you know. So right now I'm going to give you this cold read. You're doing it by yourself. You're figuring out what you need to do, and you're going to do the reading, and then we'll come back and talk about it. But right now, the interactive reading, you're going to do it by yourself. You're going to do the heavy lifting. If I put you in groups, you're reading this cold read, you guys are figuring out the instructions. You guys are figuring out what's going on in the story. I'm listening and I'm going to be there for guidance, but you are the ones doing the work while I am guiding you. Nope, I don't think that's what she was doing right there. She didn't fall, she was pushed. I mean, I guess she did fall. But in any case, that's what that means. We're interactively or interpersonally reading. We're doing it together, or we're doing it, even if we're isolated doing it. You're doing the heavy lifting. You're interacting with the text. You're doing the work. I'm not telling you what to do, because I've told you what to do with several other passages before. Now you're doing it by yourself. Teacher modeling, number 3. And, every teacher does this. Hopefully. At some point, it's the I do part where I'm telling you what to do. This is how you annotate a page. This is how you break down the title. This is how you look at a graphic. This is how you break down a character and analyze a character, analyze a literary piece, and analyze short stories. This is me telling you what to do. This is me showing you what to do. I'm modeling it. I'm going to the board. I'm doing this and I'm typing it up. I'm doing the charts and I'm doing these different things because you don't know how. That's my job, to show you how. And after a couple of my showing you what to do, the hope is that you will figure out that this is what I do on my own. It works. Number 4, motivation and collaboration. Now, let me start with the motivation part of this tip. Students need to know that even though this is a classroom and it's all about growing and learning, they need to know that there's a space for us to mess up. Sometimes kids don't realize that you don't have to be perfect. There's some things you can do, some really messed up stuff, and still come out successful in the end. So what we're going to do here is make sure this space is judgment free, like Planet Fitness. You can do, at some point, you need to get better, but right now you can mess up. It's okay. And a disclaimer I have when I start reading, especially in the beginning of the year as a class, I'm like, nobody laughs at anybody else, because we're all at the same place. We're all trying to figure out what this author was saying. We're all trying to figure out if this makes sense to us. So no laughing at the pronunciation, no laughing at the stumbling over words, no laughing at or speed or pace of reading. We're just going to try to figure it out as a family, as a community, to get everyone to the next level. So once again, everyone needs to be motivated to know that this is the space where we can mess up, we can do well, there is space for growth here for all of us. And then collaboration. Yes, there are going to be moments when I'm going to mandate that you read by yourself. I'm going to mandate that you do your individual test. I'm going to expect at some point that you're going to be in a group. You're going to be working as a class. You're going to be paired up. Also going to be doing things like instructing others, presenting. You're going to be the teacher, if you will, because there are things that we can't cover in class, but you know on your own, and you can share with someone else. So when I put you in those groups, when I put you in front of the class, you're going to be defending an idea. You're going to be identifying why you think that she's the hero versus everybody else, or who we thought was the hero, and you're going to be doing it that way. You're going to be collaborating, coming up with posters and ideas as a group, because that's how we learn and grow from each other, individually, thinking. And that's what I tell kids a lot of times. There's sometimes you're going to have to shut out all the distractions, put the phone down, put the people away, and just be there with you and your thoughts. Clear your mind and see what's going on inside here and here. And then take it from there and share it with somebody else. So that's when we come back and we kind of talk and we kind of discuss stuff. We collaborate. And thanks for coming to class today. As usual, I need you to go out there and be great. Hey, let's just go out there and teach.